you working from that one or this one? Check. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm just. Where are the instruments?
Welcome in, everybody. Come on back for Shabbat services. Welcome to everybody on YouTube and our website. We are transitioning here into the sanctuary to start services with you in just a moment. We're going to start with a nigun.
Okay. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam. Bim 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 bam. Chiri biri biri bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Come join us in the sanctuary. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Miss Judy, I need to get a siddur.
Uh-oh, I don't have a book. I don't either.
Welcome people. I got one.
Oh, you got one? I'm taller. Yay.
Okay, Miss Judy, I think we might have the wrong page numbers.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so glad you came and joined Ellie and I, or else we'd be really sad. So thank you for coming. And hello to everybody on Zoom and other places. Let's give a little wave up there. In a little while, we're going to do something together to talk to all those people up there. Right now, we're going to sing Bim Bam, just to get ourselves together a little bit more than Shabbat Shalom. And it starts Bim Bam, Bim Biddy Bam, Bim Biddy Bim Bim Bam, Biddy 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 Bim Bam, Bim Biddy Bam, Bim Biddy Bim Bim Bam. Shabbat Shalom.
Hey,
Tamarines.
Shalom. Hey,
Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Tamarines. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom. Shabbat, now you're getting it. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Please join me on page 131, Psalm 95, Rum and Moo. And Ellie, sorry.
It's actually page 130.
130.
Okay, except we might have the wrong page numbers, Judy. Okay, Romamu is definitely a tambourine song. If you want to join us, if you've got an instrument in your hand, please join us. Do you see it, Judy? Psalm 95 is Lahuna Ranana.
Uh-oh.
So, page 130, sorry about that. This is our, as you might have noticed, I am not a bearded, glasses intellectual with a guitar. I'm actually I'm Ellie Emmerich Hart. If you don't know me, I'm the education coordinator for our religious school and the lead teacher of the preschool. And on the other bima is Judy Karnick, who is all things an amazing friend of our synagogue and sits on the religious practices committee. So we're working together as a team. 135 is our Roman move. Thank you. And Craig, you might need to be a step ahead of us tonight and help us with our page numbers. All right.
It's in the middle of the page,
Yeah,
Romamu.
middle of the page, last verse. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho. Exalt Adonai our God and bow toward God's holy hill, for Adonai our God is holy. So, it goes something like this. And get out your tambourines, because it's got a beat. I should have a beat. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu
V'shtachavu lahar kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu
vehi shahavu lahar kodsho.
Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu. Hit it now. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahad kodsho. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahad kodsho.
Ooh, I like that. Good sizzle, y'all. Shabbat Shalom. I hope everybody's as full of good food and joy as I am. It's nice to see everybody together. What a great time to be in our community. Page 132, the last verse on the bottom of the page is Or Zaruah, Lat Sadiq. Light is sown for the righteous. This is another jazzy one, so let's get some beat going. Or Zaruah, Lat Sadiq, U'yisrael Simcha. Shooby-doo-wop-doo-wop. Or Zaruah, Lat Sadiq, U'yisrael Simcha. Or Zaruah, Lat Sadiq, U'yisrael Simcha. Yisrael Simcha. Or Zaruah, Lat Sadiq, U'yisrael Simcha. Yisrael Simcha. La-da-dai, 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 Nice.
And on page 138 and 139, we have L'cha Dodi.
And Alec probably knows what verses we do.
We sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
1, 2, 5, and 9. You want to do the... Okay, here we go. Lecha, lecha,
Dodi, likrat, likrat, kala, panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah. Now you're getting it.
lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala,
panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah. La 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 la, lecha dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamuchad. Adonai echad u'shamo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'hiti la 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 la.
Lecha dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah.
Likrat Shabbat l'chu v'nelcha. Ki mekor habracha. Merosh mekedesh nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'cham Shabbat tila la 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 la.
Lecha dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah. Lecha, lecha, dodi, likrat, likrat, kala. Panei, panei, Shabbat, nekabbalah.
Number 5. Hitorei,
Hitorei,
Ki be'oreku mi'uri, uri, uri, shir daberi, Kavod Adonai Eloheinu
Dodi, likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabala.
Please rise.
Boi beshalom ateret bala.
Gam besimcha u'b'tola. Ukmeunet am segula.
Boi kala, la 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 la. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabala. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala. Penei Shabbat nekabala. So we would like you all to remain standing. Sorry about that. And you can put down your books. You can put down your tambourines or keep them with you. And we'd like you all to say Shabbat Shalom to each other. And then we'd like you all to come up front.
Move closer.
Everybody come up front.
Oh, I'll take one.
So as you greet each other, please come up front. Everybody, Kate, come up front. Chloe, come on up front for a minute. Everybody come up front. Elizabeth, come on up front. Take some people with you. Danny, come on up front.
So for those of you watching on the live stream, it's a lot of fun here tonight. This might be something you consider joining us on another Friday night. We just love being together.
And we will return to our books and tambourines, and we will be on page 140. 142. Fine. We're not going to do Shalom Aleichem?
Huh? Yeah.
We're not going to do Shalom
That is Shalom Aleichem.
It is.
I don't know why our number's wrong.
Page 142 in the back. Hello.
That's the only trouble with schmoozing is it ends up being more fun.
Ready?
Okay, we're going to sing Shalom Aleichem.
We are on Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
We are going to sing a traditional tune, traditional version. Some of our stuff is going to be contemporary tonight. Some of it will be traditional. Oh, my microphone is acting weird. All right, so it goes like this. Shalom Aleichem,
Malachei
Malachei
Hashalom,
Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Malachakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Come with me.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Malachakim. Tambourines,
HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom,
Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh
Baruch Hu. A little faster. Bahuni l'shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Malachakim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech,
Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh
Baruch Hu. We're going to continue with the Hatzi Kaddish on page 144. Yikada, Yikada, Shamei Rabba.
Amen.
B'yam ha'divra hirute, b'yam lik malhute, b'chayechon yom echon, u'chayedeko beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'amaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei de'kudesha,
Barihu,
le'la min kol birchata v'shirata,
Tushbechata v'nehemata, da'amiram v'yama, v'yimeru, amen.
Page 146, we'll continue with the Baruch Hu. Everyone please rise. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam va'ed. You may be seated.
On page 148, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. Together, you are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzavot is your name.
Ever-living
Loving God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'amariv aravi.
On page 150, join me for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, hukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadata. Al Kein Adonai Eloheinu, B'shokveinu uvkumeinu, Nasiach bechuchecha, V'nismach Adonai Elotecha, Uv'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yomeinu, orech yameinu. Uvachem negeh, ve'yom layla, ve'yomam ve'layla. Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu la'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ochev amo Yisrael.
And now we turn to page 152 and 3 for Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol me'odecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha l'derech u'kshakecha uv'chumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha u'kshartam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. L'man tizkaru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim Elohehem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lichod lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Together, you shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them for a sign upon your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates. Thus shall you remember to observe all my commandments and be holy in your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem emet.
A lot of activity up in the airspace today.
On page 157, we will read, alternatively, I will start and we can read first the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot.
A promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
Okay.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. Page 158. We're at the point in our service where we're standing on the edge of the Sea of Reeds, looking back at a great journey that we've all taken together hand in hand. And I always love this part of the service because the beginning of the verse in Torah says, and Miriam, the prophetess, took her tambourine in her hand, tambourine, I guess, and led the people in song. And this is the song, or at least a fraction of the song. Page 158. Mi kamocha b'ni Madonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, osei fele, malchutecha ra'uvanecha, bokeh ayam lifnei Moshe ve'Miriam, zeli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'elam va'ed, mi kamocha b'ni Madonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Please turn to page 160.
Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace, and rise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, for your name's sake. Be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore.
Amen. Our next item on the list is Vishamru, and our page numbers are slightly off, so I'm still trying to locate Visham. I think it's 162 on the top.
Yep.
All right, this is another good instrument number.
Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Beni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, et ha-Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat l'doratam berit olam.
You can come over here. Oh, we have a handheld?
If you look over here, you will see a crane, and you will see a picture of a very beautiful peacock. And this is their story. Oh, something you should know. Lady peacocks are not called peacocks. They are called peahens. Okay? All right. Once upon a time, in Thailand, at the edge of a rainforest, there was a clearing. And through that clearing ran a stream. And one fine morning, a very, very magnificent peacock, half fluttered, half fell because their wings don't work great, out of his tree perch at the edge of the rainforest and strutted into the clearing. He looked around. "Where are the peahens?" said the peacock. "Where are those hens?" But there were none in the clearing. The peacock looked around a little bit more, and then he said, "They're probably at a hen party." So clever, he thought himself. He said, "Well, fine. I'll just strut myself down to the edge of the river, have a few grubs for breakfast, a little drink, and by that time, they'll be here. Because I know as soon as I puff myself up and spread my tail feathers, their little hearts will go, and they'll be so excited, and we'll have a wonderful day." I should tell you that this particular peacock was quite magnificent. His tail feathers, just those, were 8 feet long. That's taller than most people we know. And when he puffed himself up and spread those tail feathers, he was magnificent, and he knew it. So the peacock struts his little legs and fat little body and gorgeous tail feathers towards the stream. But then he heard a big noise up in the sky. And he looked up and he went, "Oh no." Coming right beside him, flying down from the sky, was a huge white crane. And he said, the peacock said, "Don't land here, don't land here. The peahens will be here anytime, don't land here." And sure enough, the crane lands right next to the peacock. "Good morning," says the crane. "Yes," said the peacock. "What a lovely day," said the crane. "Yes, it's lovely," hoping the crane would take the hint and go. And then the crane said, I thought maybe you were walking down to the stream to get a drink. Were you?" And the peacock said, "Yes, I'm waiting for the peahens," hoping he'd take the hint. "So I thought I'd get a little breakfast and a drink." "Well," said the crane, "I was going to go and have a drink too, so I'll just walk with you," which turned out to be difficult for the crane because his legs were nice and long and the peacock's were not. So the crane had to kind of tiptoe to stay next to the peacock, but he did it. "So," said the crane, "you're waiting for the peahens?" "Yes," said the peacock, "because when they come, I will puff myself up and wave my gorgeous tail feathers, and all their little hearts will go pitter-patter, pitter-patter, and we will have a lovely time," with the emphasis on we, not you, Mr. Crane. But the crane didn't take the hint. "That's wonderful," said the crane, and then he stopped and looked. He took his long neck looked back at his back and he said, "You know, I'm not very handsome like you are." "I noticed," said the peacock. And the crane took his long, long neck and he looked down at his legs and he said, "Ugh, and I have these stick legs and they're not very pretty either." "I noticed that too," said the peacock. And then the crane looked down at his feet and he said, "You know, my feet, these claw feet, they aren't very pretty, but they're really good for holding on to rocks in the river so I can fish against the current." "Oh, is that so?" said the peacock, totally unimpressed. While they were looking at the feet of the crane, the peacock and the crane failed to notice that the wind had kicked up and it was starting to blow. And it got faster and more intense, and suddenly the crane said, "You know, I do have something, well, it's not very pretty, but it works great." And he took his big wings and spread them out. And he said, "These wings, they may not be very pretty, but they can carry me anywhere I want to go." And then he took his long neck and said, "Oh," and he looked above the trees in the rainforest. He said, "Oh my gosh, a big storm is coming in." And of course, the peacock is down on the ground and he's got his little neck and where? And the crane says, "It's coming in right across the rainforest. I think maybe I'll change my plans. I think I'll just jump into the air, grab some water, and fly above the storm." And the peacock, the wind was really picking up, and the peacock started to say something, but the crane yelled, "Goodbye!" And he raised those big, wide, great wings, and he fluttered up even in the heavy wind, and he went over the river and scooped up some water and flew up. Now the wind was coming right across the opening in the forest, and it was blowing against the peacock. And then it started to rain really, really hard. And the peacock said, "Oh boy, I need to get back in the rainforest. I need to jump on a low branch. I need to get out of here." So he starts running against the wind, and he's not making any progress. And so he flaps his almost not even functional wings, and he starts flapping and flapping, but the wind is beating him backwards and forcing him back down on the ground, and he can't get off the ground. And he couldn't make any progress toward the rainforest, so he said, "I got to do something." And he turned around and ran away from the wind, but the wind just caught him and tumbled him over and over and over down into the bed next to the river. Think about this story, because we're going to meet it in a little while.
That's very thought-provoking. It is now time for us to recite the Amidah prayer. Will you please join us on page 164, and please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftak ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Elohim You may be seated.
And on page 173, we have a reading. It starts with Disturb Us, Adonai. And we'll read it alternately. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Together, shock us, Adonai.
Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives the delusion of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred.
Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears.
Yagon sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality.
And together, disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let us not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred into action. Oseh Shalom.
I was just going to say very briefly that today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and I think that this passage is really appropriate, and it's very fitting to sing Oseh Shalom as a conclusion to that thought. Oseh Shalom Nimramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru, Amen. Ya'aseh Shalom,
Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh Shalom, Ya'aseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the Parsha and about the fable. The Parsha today, for this weekend, is called Bo. Bo translates into the word come. The Parsha is about the last 3 plagues that God put upon the Egyptians to get the release of the Israelites. So, the 8th plague was locust. The ninth plague was darkness, and the last plague, which everyone remembers, is death of all the Egyptian firstborn boys. The interesting thing that strikes you right away about this Parsha is that before any of these are done, God already has told Moses that he, God, has hardened the heart of Pharaoh. Why would he do that? Didn't God want Pharaoh to let the Jews go, the Israelites go? Every time God summons Moses to tell Aaron what he's going to do, he says this: I have hardened Pharaoh's heart. Why would he do that? The answer seems to be because God wanted to make sure that there was no doubt who had let the Israelites go. It was not Pharaoh. It was God. And the only way to do that was to harden Pharaoh's heart. So he kept saying no, changing his mind. Yes, you can go. No, you can't. Locust was number 8. If you think about it, you might say, well, so they came through and they ate all the crops. But they didn't just eat the crops. They destroyed the Egyptian economy. Having no crops meant no animals got fed, so the animals died. So in fact, the Egyptians starved. If you were to put your hand just like this in front of your face, as close as you can get it without touching you, and close your eyes, just try it. Put your hand and close your eyes as hard as you can. That is the darkness that came upon the Egyptians for plague number 9. That dark. The dark of, if you've ever done it, being in woods at night with no stars and no moon. It was that dark. And we all know the results of number 10. That sequence was God saying, remember, I brought you out of Egypt. Not Pharaoh letting you go. I brought you out of Egypt. And when I read this parsha, and when I looked at that fable, I thought, this fable wasn't written about Moses or the Pharaoh or God, but there's a parallel here, a little bit of one that says, who is like the peacock? Who is like the peacock in this telling of the tale of the Exodus from Egypt? Who is arrogant? Who failed to be compassionate? And then the other side is the crane. He wasn't handsome. He didn't have a flock of cranettes following him around. But he was very functional and practical. And he knew how to fish. He knew how to use himself to save himself. And he reminded me somewhat of the situation the Israelites found themselves in. They didn't have time to let their bread rise. They were at the mercy as slaves of Pharaoh. They didn't have a lot to say about themselves, but they were survivors. And I think in that way, the two birds sort of were like the Pharaoh and the Israelites. And we're going to continue on page 371 with Misha Bera. And of course, we want to ask you, after I read the list I have, we'd like to ask you to please let us know of other people that you'd like to send your prayers and wishes to. Brian Zabel, Reuven ben Sephora, Moshe ben Avraham, Avram ben Odul, Ellen McIntosh, Paliak bat Mordechai Vivashta, Faye Green, Malak bat Hillel Halevi, Israel Aaron ben Reuben Chaim Hakohen, Elena Rathman, Harriet Niels, Shmuel ben Yosef, Chris Kaplan, Ganad bat Sima, Azi Ramin E, Beth Maxwell, Avram ben Meir, Tova bat Rashna, David Zimmerman, David ben Rivka, Jas Gottlieb, Sue Laughlin, Lee Rosser, Lilani Eldridge, Howard Messerman, the Feynman family, Howard Shook. Is anybody on this side of the room like to add some people? Nobody? How about over here? Irene Sidman and Daniel Sidman. Anyone else? And I'd like to add Stephanie Burton and Andy Elias. And Sharon, last name, Craig? Malkinson, thank you. Okay?
Top
So-
of page 371. Mishabera avotenu makor habracha limotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishabera imotenu makor habracha lamotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. Let us all say, Amen. If you can join me on page 586, and I'll please rise for the Elenu. seated.
When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you want to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you with something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can have my best by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
This week, we commemorate and mourn the passing of Edward Fields, Ed Laberowitz, Fran Ader, Jacob Fine, Mike Sherman, Goldie Berland, Hilda Garman Zimmerman, Irving Goodman, Julius Wolfson, Morris Rayfield, Azaria Chumash, Betty Waldbaum, Elise Sonderman, Ernest B. Williams, Eddie Kelmer Fuhr, Laura Pick, Anna Goodstein, Celia Galoff, Diesel W. Sugarman, Peter Simon, Evelyn Levitt, Harold Pernick, Leona Dumont, Rachel Sikorsky, Goldie Takaris, Victor Goodstein, Fenton Kaufman, Harry Goodstein, Nathan Paposur, Raheel Palasti, Sam Goodstein. And we are currently sitting in the period of time of Shloshim, the 30 days following the passing of our dear members Ruth Schnee, Goldie Altman, Sharon Friedman. Are there any other names for passing that have been missed off this list? Denny? Thank you. Any others? We rise now on page 598 and join together in the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, b'yalma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv yimru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei omaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shmei d'kudisha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiram b'yalma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May their memories be for our blessing. Zichronam livracha. Thank you. Please be seated.
Who's doing the announcements? David.
David Weiss, Vice President and Chair of our Education Committee, is representing the board tonight with our announcements.
Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. It was really a wonderful dinner and gathering for everyone. And if you're new or here for the first time, make sure to introduce yourself. Thank you for Judy and Ellie for leading the service. It's been very nice. Yes. Yes, I will remember that for a while. Have you signed up for the first film in our own Jewish film series on Sunday, January 29th, with the showing of the Levies of Monticello? Oh, now I see why the question mark was there. I thought it was the levees of Monticello. Our second movie will be showing on Sunday, February 26th. It's Farewell, Mr. Halfman. For each of these movies, the $10 will also provide you with the wine and cheese reception and the discussion afterwards. Thanks to our Film Society sponsors and all the registrants for making this happen. Scott Levin, Regional Director of the Anti-Defamation League, will be the speaker at the Sunday, February 5th Men's and Women's Club event. Mr. Levin will be speaking on anti-Semitism in the U.S. and worldwide and what we can do about it. Don't miss out on this timely subject with an expert's perspective. Boy, we'll have to make our education committee short. Sign up with Judy Karnick to participate in an original special Purim play. Members can find contact support in the monthly member e-bulletin. Rehearsals start almost immediately. Okay. If you know any Temple members who are ill, hospitalized, or suffering from a loss, please contact the Temple office so we can be sure to provide encouragement and support. And thanks to everyone who joined us for Shabbat dinner this evening. It was really wonderful. And we particularly want to thank Mark and Elena Rathman, and sponsors with Beth Zimmerman and Denny Elston.
Woo-hoo. Thank you.
I don't see Denny, though.
She's in the back.
Oh, they're in the kitchen. Oh. Well, special thank
Denny's
you.
over there. Yes.
And also special thank you to Beth for the oneg afterwards,
Oh, wow.
which we're very excited about.
The icing on the cake.
Any other announcements?
Uh-oh.
Yep. Okay. All right,
Thanks,
Shabbat
David.
Shalom.
Thank you.
I can't reach it. Okay, there, just kidding. So just letting you know, if you're interested, there are 4 slots left for the Habitat build. It is almost full. This is an interfaith build next Saturday afternoon. There's lunch, which is unusual, from 12:30 to 1. The actual build is 1 o'clock to 4:30. We have become very active in this group. They will cancel if the weather is horrible, but if the weather is buildable, they will build. And this has been an effort by Roberta and myself to create an outreach program for Temple Shalom. And if you can come, you don't need any training. They will not let you get hurt, but you will be building a house. So you can go on the Habitat for Humanity Interfaith Build website. They're very helpful. They can help you fill out a form. And you can join us on the 4th, because we'll be there, right? Yay! Okay? And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We don't know any answers, but we'll field them anyway. Thank you.
One of the cool things about Habitat, if you haven't participated in a build, the stuff is there. The experts are there. They put you on a task and you do it, and you are really super intense commitment, how am I saying this? You are actually hands-on helping someone who doesn't have a house get a home.
And the
That's a
best
pretty
part
cool thing.
is their faces when they actually see the home. By the way, if you don't know, just an aside, they don't get these homes for free. They have to work for them. This is not just, we build you the house and you walk in. This is a joint effort between the about-to-be owners and the Habitat program.
All right.
All right,
Are you ready?
ready. Craig's ready.
I'd like to thank Judy, and I'd like to thank everyone who's here tonight. It's so nice to participate on a Friday night with a full congregation of people that are singing and playing tambourines. So be watching the calendar. We're going to try to do a potluck once a month. Is that correct, Elena? And once in a while, we might get another chance to be up here, and it's just a really nice experience. So thank you for helping me and Judy have a really nice Shabbat.
We hope it's made your Shabbat joyous.
Yes, okay. Page 625 for Adon Olam.
This is Craig's favorite. He expects everybody to sing loudly.
It's your tambourine swan song. Adon Olam, Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem kol,
B'terem kol,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Le'es Nasa, Behef Sakol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Yachare, Kiklot HaKol, Leva Ado Yimloch Nara, Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu Hove, Vehu Hiye V'tikvara, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem kol,
B'terem kol,
Yitzir Nifra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yet Nasa,
Le'es Nasa, Behef
Sakol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Echad, Ve'ein Sheni, Lacham Shilo, Lachakira, Adon Olam, Veli Reshit, Veli Taklit, Levo Avo La'am Mizra, Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
B'terem Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'terem kol,
B'terem kol,
Yitzir Nifra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Yet Nasa,
Le'es Nasa, Behef Sakol,
Sakol,
Azai Melech Shemo
Nikra, Adon Olam, Vehu Eini, V'hayago Ali, L'sur Havli Be'et Sarah, Adon Olam, Vehu Nisi, Umanasli, Menakasi V'yom Ekra, Adon Olam. I like the camp version behind
Adon
us.
Olam,
Asher Malach,
B'terem
Kol,
B'terem kol,
Yitzir Nifra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Le'ed Nasa,
Le'es Nasa,
Behef Sakol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon Olam, B'ya Ado, Akid Ruhi, Yehi V'la Ima, Adon Olam, Ve'im Ruhi, Gaviyati, Adonai Livelo Ira, Adon Olam.
All right.
Big finish, Adon Olam.
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
B'terem
Kol,
B'terem kol,
Yifra,
Yitzir Nivra,
Led Nasa,
Le'es Nasa, Behef Sakol,
Azai Melech Shemo Nikra, Adon
Adon Olam. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us at the back of the room for Kiddush and I think a little oneg. Thanks again for being here with us tonight.
We did Kiddush. Huh? We do it again? We did it. No, we did Kiddush.
Oh,
We did it.
but for the people who haven't been here.
I don't know how to. Please bring your tambourines up and put them in the baskets. Up, here they come to you.